Finals. Cage door is set. Darion Abbey in the black trunks. Demoreo Dennis in the purple and green. Ooh. Oh, Darion's already talking.
Well, Darion has his head movement, but he does keep that jab low. You know, he'll throw it, brings his hand down, uses his footwork and his height to get away, but he doesn't have that much of a height advantage on Demoreo, so he needs to be careful about, you know.
If I was him, I would push the pace, balls to the wall, based on the fact that Darion just had a 3-round fight.
Not a bad strategy at all.
Two big heavyweights just colliding.
What do you see here? Hands up, in stance, there's Demoreo. Classic, right? Traditional. You know. And then you have Darion, who's hands down, switching his feet, moving back. Hand much more unorthodox. And that's a bad sign, though. So far, he's landed about 2 or 3 of those roundhouses early on. Darion has to come up with a solution for that.
Yeah.
Those kicks just add up really quick. We've seen Barry switching stance, not a bad idea.
Darion's moving a lot, and I think that's what he needs to do. He's so much fresher.
Yeah, great movement with his feet, but my only critique would be like, but what damage are you creating?
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, and he might go ahead and do all this in one spin movement and overhand right, and it's over with. But it's like, hey, you got to chop your guy down. You got to take something away from him. Every time we move, we're wasting energy. We're heavyweights.
Score points at least.
Score. Do something. What are you doing to take away something from the other guy?
Well, and Demoreo's doing a great job. He's throwing that jab. The overhand right there from Darion Abbey.
Yeah, that was a beautiful right hand.
We're seeing Darion set up that jab, and Demoreo is just barely batting it away, just taking enough zip off of it.
It's a good back and forth right now. Nothing too big yet, but
seeing Darion take a different approach, not get in there and just go at it like we saw from Hodges. He's doing his work and getting out of the way.
yeah, he's fighting a smart fight for sure. Ooh. I think Dennis needs to throw up that lead head kick, dude.
Well, and Dennis sometimes, though, he gets a little anxious with the footwork and movement of Darion. It causes him to skip forward, and that's why he's ran into those right hands there. Just like,
yeah, I want that lead left head kick, though, by Dennis.
I agree with you. That'll run right into it.
Oh!
Right back. Both guys are just delivering heavy. We saw this happen in the first fight when they started giving heavy output. We saw Darion just give that punch to Hayes.
Such a close round, though. More power over here, but you got more movement over here, like you said. So, man, I'm glad I'm over here on the commentating table.
I agree on that round also.
So the end of the first round there. Let's look at the replay, and we saw a great. I mean, we saw more, it felt like more precision out of Darion Abbey. He got some heavy punches. We saw more O's out of the crowd with Darion punches.
Yeah, Darion landed a couple really good highlight reel, shots. But as far as consistency and moving and basics, you got, Dennis just landed those chops, but Abbey landed those right hand that was really crowd, inspiring. The judges see that. They sit there and watch. Abbey, here it comes, boom, that right hand right there. But he walked him off.
Caught him with the big one. Oh, well, not too big.
No, Abbey's movement is unorthodox, and he seems to just really just ride that razor sharp line of like, okay, you're moving your head over here, something bad's gonna happen, but because he moves in, he moves out, he always ends up like avoiding the major shot.
Round number 2, finals for Extreme Fight Night's heavyweight tournament. This is for the championship to be the biggest king. The biggest rooster in the yard. And we're seeing Demoreo, he's not getting flustered. He makes these small steps moving forward and just hunts people down.
He does. He stays composed in his stance, trying to bring his hips with him and not fall into being frustrated with the unorthodox motions of Abbey.
He's always the same fighter. Like, if I wanted to play poker with anybody, he's got the poker face right there. You know, it never changes.
Yeah, he likes to move forward, line up his punches, and then when he sees that roundhouse there, he lands it. Sees the weight distribution.
There you go. I think he hurt his foot in that first fight, though. He was talking with his corner because he has not been throwing nearly as many leg kicks.
The downfall of the tournament that makes it interesting is injuries can occur and change how it goes. And
Yep.
Oh, there's a heavy knee
He hurt him.
to Darion Abbey. He is wincing on that one.
I love how he chops off the clinch.
Right, as he breaks away, he gives a little leg chop.
Oh!
Let's see, Darion is doing this thing where when he gets hit, he just tries to get out of there. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm not saying he's getting on his bike, but...
No, Darion Abbey's style actually of striking would do very well for MMA because of the footwork he uses, the movement, and the clinches he ends up in. He would be able to actually use them. But a lot of times here, he uses his footwork and his head movement, and he's able to nullify the punches and end up in a clinch. But then there's not a lot he can do because of the system that he's in right now. It's a kickboxing match. Whereas if there was an MMA fight, you could knee and elbow more from here, clinch from it, and ultimately take down.
And then we saw Demoreo do this thing where he thinks he's going to be slow, and then he gasses in. Oh, leg kick. Oh, that's slippery mat again. Baiting him in, Darion is.
Yeah, Darion. Demoreo is just hunting him down now, staying within his... Just being smart, keeping his hips with him.
Yeah, if you asked me who was in a 3-round fight a little bit ago and who was in a 1-round fight, you couldn't tell me. That's how good Dennis is, you know?
Yes.
That's the end of round number 2 for this championship fight for the tournament, the finals. And Darion Abbey, you're right, he does look like he was the one that went 3 rounds.
This is round 6 for him, and this is only round 4 for him.
Yeah, I think it's just styles, too. The fact that Demoreo has a much more efficient style. His feet are under him. He doesn't do a lot of crazy movements where he's having to control his body weight. He's traditional with his movement. He's efficient. He's not wasting any energy. But that doesn't cause him to be unorthodox. It doesn't cause you to see anything that's weird or off speed. Whereas Darion Abbey's very unorthodox, his off speed. It causes confusion, but it requires a lot more energy to do what he does, especially in the body of a heavyweight.
Yep. And he throws high volume, too, you know, so volume, the size. And
Yep.
Who is going to be the champ?
Yeah. And I just saw corner instruction from Darion Abbey, and he was telling him, like, don't run, angle out, and then punch. Don't get on your horse and get out of there. He's chasing you fast. You can hit him.
I like Abbey standing in that left-hand stance. It protects his leg, lines him up for that left hand.
Man, these guys better not get no blood on my suit.
Yeah, it happens. A lot.
It does.
Sometimes when they're coming our way, I'll hold a piece of paper up to make sure. I just don't want it in my mouth, man.
Price to pay to have the best seats in the house.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, look
Nice
at that leg
inside.
kick inside. You're hearing the instruction there from Darion Abbey's corner.
There you go. He keeps throwing the straight.
And the reach of Darion is just long. Even, I mean, his arms are long even for his height. He's able to catch shots. Dennis thinks he's out of range, and all of a sudden eats one.
Well, and Demario's always been one of those guys. He'll eat. He doesn't care. He'll eat punches.
Yeah, he wants to stay in his realm, his power, and if that requires him to take a shot or two, but he's lined up so he can land his power, especially to chop his roundhouse. You're absolutely right.
It's going to be another hard fight to score, too. But I think Dennis's volume and pressure is really going to help.
Yeah, that second round, I think, turned around. I have Dennis. The first round, you know, I can see going either way. Not a big argument on who took the lead. But in here, too, it looks more of Abbey. Some of his elusive footwork, though, his movement can make it look like he's hurt and fatigued.
Yes.
Well, I think he's almost kind of, honestly, I think he's pulling more of a drunken kung fu type of strategy. You know, he's being loose, relaxed. But in these exchanges, they could be perceived as fatigue.
Yes, because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and Darion's a guy who looks like he's not afraid of playing possum and then getting you with a spinning
No, we already
punch.
saw that.
And yes. Oh, like that. He stepped out.
There we go. There he goes. Volume.
Just pitter-patter in his face.
Oh, I'll throw that lead head kick up there.
Last 10 seconds. Just look at that punch and then an elbow. And Darion's trying all he can, but Demario's dictating what happens. And that is the end of the fight. Who will be the winner of the four-man heavyweight tournament finals? What did you see that you liked from Darion Abbey, Jimmy?
Abbey, I think not getting hit so much using his movement. He's really good at an awkward movement, and his body shots were really good. I just think the pressure of Dennis coming forward really just slowed him down.
And what about you, Frank, for Demoreo? What did you like that he did?
I think he stuck to his game plan. You know, kept forward, kept his stance. When you're having somebody in front of you like an Abbey who's moving unorthodox, who just drops her hands, does things, you're like, oh, that's wrong. It's almost like you want to make them pay for it, and then you leave your stance. You make mistakes. You create problems, which exposes yourself, and then you leave your strategy. You leave your strengths.
Well,
He stuck to his guns very well.
He absolutely did. And is he going to make it 2 in a row? 2 tournament wins in a row. Is he going to be able to say, I'm the king of this hill? We're going to find out as we are collecting the cards right now from the judges to find out who wins the four-man heavyweight tournament here on UFC Fight Pass. We'll recap all the fights from the night here at the conclusion here at the River Spirit Casino Resort in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Casey's in the cage. He's got the judges' cards. Let's hear it.
Make some noise for these kickboxers, ladies and gentlemen, fighting 2 full fights tonight for this championship. It does go the distance, so the judges score it. 29-29, or 29-28, 29-28, 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, and the king, the kickboxing champion, out of the blue